88.1 Amazona Sound. I've always wanted to say that. Why did you start Amazona Sound originally in 2007?
Okay, it was...
And I don't want to remind you too much, but talk right into that mic with that with your lovely voice.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you now.
All right, perfect.
Verizon.
It was me and my brethren, Jay, was sitting up in a place where we both kind of grew up, called Wilton's Yard in St. Lucia. And then we just always sat there and we just always chill and did nothing. And for real, we had ideas and dreams, but nothing came out of it.
Okay.
So one day, it was Gio and I brought the idea, you know what, let's start a sound system. And at the time, it was to promote distinctly St. Lucian reggae music, because we thought it wasn't getting heard enough at that time on radio in St. Lucia. And then it started with an idea, and then like all ideas, they either go up or they either go south. It's just how you act on them. And then we perceive them, we act on them. I remember early out when we'd go spend late nights in studios recording our first dub plates. And actually, I think I have our first dub plate here, but yeah, we stay late in the studio recording our first dub plates and just trying to get music going around to different studios and say, like, why could we have your music for free? This is what we're trying to do. We hope you support us.
Right.
And some of them supported us and some of them didn't. Some of them were like, my music is for sale. And I can respect that because...
yeah, it's a decision.
Yeah, it's
one way or the other. Yeah. I can see how it goes.
Yeah, I could honestly respect that.
Yeah.
So, but some of them eventually did come around.
Yeah.
When they saw...
Why the name Amazona?
Amazona, since it was distinctly St. Lucian at the time, the national bird of St. Lucia is called the Amazona versicolor. And it's
so a very patriotic name.
Yeah, at the time. At the time, we just thought of it just being something as an entity in St. Lucia only. We never thought of expansion. That was beyond our wildest dreams. We never even knew how we could probably come to a place like this and at least make a living out of it, some kind of. So that's where the name came out. And I didn't actually name it, because we spent like days. I came up with the idea, but we spent like days and weeks coming, like, what do we name this? We want it to be something different.
Right.
We don't want it to sound like the regular, because if you listen to regular sound systems, you hear like the Jedi sound system, the Excalibur sound system, the Killer. You understand? So then the co-founder, Electric, big up yourself, Electric, he came up with the name, well, why not Amazona? And I'm like, yeah, it has a ring to it.
Sounds official to me.
It's exactly been exactly what it's been branded as, and it's pretty good.
What is the biggest misconception or like thing that is almost people have completely wrong about reggae up here? Like in when you notice, like what do you think the biggest misconception about, like, that it's all the same? It's all the same sound?
Yeah. Some people, I've heard some people say that it's probably not how do I put it, structured music, because it's so raw. I've heard some people say
that's crazy talk.
But jazz came from out being raw. Rock and roll came from...
What's the difference between reggae in St. Lucia and reggae in Jamaica, let's say, or reggae somewhere else?
There actually isn't really a difference. You could say the accent.
The accent.
Jamaica is the birth of reggae. So you have a lot more of the authenticity of reggae coming out of Jamaica. Like, there is authenticity, but it's authenticity related to the struggle of what reggae came from about. So you have that link in, but Jamaica has the authenticity. They have the sound. That's where it came from. They have the right sound when it comes to other islands have got it too. Because if you know this big song, Don't You Know You're Loved by Isasha, he's from Trinidad. And one of the biggest songs in any reggae catalog is called Love and Affection by Pressure, and he's from the Virgin Islands. So it filters out. As something gets more popular, you have people around the world who become fans of it. And if you look at now, you have this reggae band called Soldier, who's selling out arenas playing reggae music, and Magic does reggae with that big Billboard song they have. So it's growing. It's growing.
You see it in more and more mainstream songs.
Yeah,
too.
now,
It's not that crazy to have someone kind of come on with a bit of a reggae sound to them.
Yeah, because looking at hip hop, the influence of hip hop, the reggae and hip hop is so vast. Biggie Smalls was from Jamaica, and Busta Rhymes has some Jamaican influence. He can turn on and off the Jamaican accent at any point in time.
He sure can.
But yeah, for years you had massive mainstream artists like Supercat and Shabba Ranks, and many hip hop songs have sampled them. Even A$AP Rocky paid tribute to Shabba Ranks and when I was a kid growing up in the Caribbean, Shabba Ranks was huge for us because we didn't see our music on like MTV and BET and VH1. We didn't see our music on that. And the story I heard why Shabba Ranks got to play, because I think he was signed, I can't remember the record label, but it was the same record label that Michael Jackson was signed to. And the record label said, well, if you don't play Shabba Ranks, you can't play Michael Jackson. And that's how VH1 started. Right. So he was like our first massive superstar for dancehall at least. So yeah, and many people have sampled reggae from Kanye West to DJing to right now in mainstream music. So it's had its influence because it was part of hip hop. Right. And that genre, just speaking specifically about it from the inception. Cool Herc is from Jamaica.
How much do you think hip hop owes to its existence, like having reggae before it to build out of? Because we always hear like sort of the boiled down story of like taking the old records and pulling the brakes, but it's like that wasn't the beginning really, because it was evolution. It's not like things just start. There's this. So how much do you think like the islands have an effect on the fact that in New York and that cooker like of New York, but with the flavor of the islands kind of pressured in there, you get hip hop? Yeah, am I close, do you think, in your estimation?
You're very close actually, because to put it clear, I have to go back to just at the point when hip hop was being formed.
Sure.
From Cool Herc.
So we're like 70,
71. And Jamaica's, what Cool Herc did was what who's the godfather of dancehall, his name is Daddy Uroy. And he was like the first Jamaican DJ. So he was the one who used to be playing the records and then take it out and turn it on the B-side where the instrumentals were, and then just chat some lyrics over it. Yeah. So then from that point there, you have Cool Herc migrating to the Bronx and then taking that style. But if at that time, if you were not in Jamaica, you didn't have the new reggae record. So I guess he did it with soul and breakbeats, and then it caught on to the U.S. at the block parties, and that's where the evolution of the hip-hop culture started, because it's all dance, but in that aspect, you could say it owes all of it to reggae. Right. And that.
What is hip-hop giving back to reggae that is sort of not uniquely hip-hop, but as, you know, that's sort of sprinkling back in? Do you see an entirely different generation of singers that are singing more in a rap style or more like flipping the flows, kind of like that, or like, what influence, if anything?
Yeah, sometimes you hear a record and you hear Jake talk some patois in it, and you know, like and you hear a couple other people talking, like the Nicki Minaj and Busta Rhymes record. That was all kind of like, but in my professional view, before, hip hop didn't really give anything back to reggae. Now it has, because you see more mainstream artists trying to work with Jamaican artists, and that in a way is giving back, right? Yeah, giving them that spotlight to show them some light. Yeah, it's here, and Drake does that a lot. Nicki Minaj does that a lot. So they are kind of like Joey Badass does that a lot with Chronics. That record is amazing. And I actually have one of the next songs I'm up in play is one of my favorite Joey.
Well, let's hit it. I mean, that's a perfect segue right there.
Yeah.
88
Bad man thing. Yo, dogs, I got the load. Blow this smoke straight up to the cloud like a sky high, me sky high. Sky high, sky high. Just put it in the air like loud and watch disappear. Hear thoughts at the speed of light years. I can see the light. Yeah, this the right like, yeah, made the flow, yeah, clear and easy to steer in the space and time, erasing fine, amazing and amazing cliches. Each day weighs out enlightenment, blacked out cause I got ultraviolet. Now my wavelengths to the radio waves, still keep it under pavements, but not a ratio change. My patio the same, but I ain't even gotta tell them that. Poppy leave them dimes at my local Mac, get high as heavens, hope hell never come back. I'm like 5'11", bad, angelic contact, the devil jealous in fact, cause I rebel the spells with a letter to God. Swear you know me so well. This one time I said, Lord, would you help? Some short time after, see my music on the shelf, and of course I gotta thank myself. My wealth is in my happiness and mine, and not my pocket health and its actions. If you don't ever think sometimes, if it's passion, that relationship synchronized. Drowning inside her, true eyes to the higher. I don't drink too much, I know the Budweiser. It's the livest one, barefoot Stuyvesant. I got the load. Blow the smoke straight up to the cloud line.
88.